Welcome back to Lost Odyssey. So let's take a look at this tavern, see what we can find. Dwebs, you can be this.
ID on you, sir?
Dwebs, you can be this guy. Go ahead.
Hold on. You're fresh from the battlefield too, aren't you? Guess we both throw someone upstairs big time, huh?
Well, another survivor, I guess.
Right.
I kind of feel like a heel, thinking about all my dead bodies. For having another chance to see your family. Well, that's a great feeling.
True.
I didn't think I'd actually make it out of this alive, after all. I have no idea what I'm gonna do when it's time to knock on my family's front door.
And this triggers another memory recalling from deep within Kaim's heart.
Are you alright?
Sorry, I think I'm having a flashback.
Literally a flashback. A dream has been revealed. Okay. So for today we have, alone in a crowd of rugged men, nursing his drink in the far corner of the old post town's only tavern, Kaim. A hero's return, it's called. A single man strides in through the tavern door. Massively built, he wears the garb of a warrior. His soiled uniform bespeaks a long journey. Fatigue marks his face, but his eyes wear a penetrating gleam, the look of a fighting man on active duty.
Soiled? What, did he shit himself?
Or like he, probably ate something or drunk and something spilled over.
Yep. The tavern's din hushes instantly. Every drunken eye in the place fastens on the soldier with awe and gratitude. The long war with the neighboring country has ended at last, and the men who fought on the front lines are returning to their homes. So it is with this military man. The soldier takes a seat at the table next to Kaim's, and downs a slug of liquor with the forcefulness of a hard drinker, a man who drinks to kill his pain.
And
Wow,
those
it's
who-
literally
and
me
those
after we're deep of FSRF.
Yeah, exactly.
And those stood around him turned away and held their noses. God, this guy stinks.
2 cups. 3. 4. Another customer approaches him, bottle in hand, wearing an ingratiating grin. A typical crafty town punk. Jova, go ahead.
How was it at the front?
No,
Let me offer you a drink. Wheedles the man. Okay, go on.
As a token of gratitude for your heroic efforts on behalf of the fatherland.
The soldier unseemingly allows the man to fill his cup. Carry on.
And how was it at the front? I'm sure you performed many valiant deeds on the battlefield.
The soldier empties his cup in silence.
I killed people.
Well, it's war. That's kind of how it is. The punk refills the cup and adopts an ever more fawning smile. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
Now that we're friends, how about telling me some war tales? Got such big, strong arms. How many enemy soldiers did you kill?
Without a word, the soldier hurls the contents of his cup into the man's face. The punk flies into a rage and draws his knife. No sooner does it leave its sheath than Kaim's fist sends it flying through the air. Falcon punch?
Yes. Yes.
Faced with the powerful united front of Kaim and the soldier, the punk runs out muttering curses. The 2 big men watch him go, then share a faint smile. Kaim doesn't have to speak with the soldier to know that he lives in deep sadness. For his part, the soldier, having cheated death any number of times, is aware of the shadow that lurks in Kaim's expression.
Kindred spirits.
True bromance.
Yeah. You're traumatized by war? I'm also traumatized by war. We should be BFFs.
Let's be mates.
The tavern's din returns. Kaim and the soldier pour each other drinks. Go on.
I've got a wife and daughter I haven't seen since I shipped out.
Says the soldier.
It's been 3 long years.
He lets himself smile shyly now for the first time as he takes a photograph of his wife and daughter from his pocket and shows it to Kaim. The wife a woman of dewy freshness, the daughter still very young.
They're the reason I survived. The thought of going home to them alive was all that sustained me in battle.
Grateful.
Is your home far from here?
I think I don't know which one you
You're the second one to know my village. Go ahead.
No, my village is just over the next pass. I'm sure they heard the news that the war is over and can hardly wait to have me home.
You could get there tonight if you wanted to badly enough. It was close.
But
The soldier downs a mouthful of liquor and groans.
I'm afraid.
Do?
Afraid? Of what?
I want to see my wife and daughter, but I'm afraid to have them see me. I don't know how many men I've killed those past 3 years. I had no choice. I had to do it to stay alive. If I was going to get back to my family, I had no choice but to kill one enemy soldier after another. And each and every one of those men had families they left at home.
It was the code of war, the soldier's destiny. To stay alive in battle, you had to go on killing men before they could kill you.
I had no time to think about such things at the front. I was too busy trying to survive. I see it now, though, now that the war is over. 3 years of sin are carved into my face. This is the face of a killer. I don't want to show this face to my wife and daughter.
The soldier pulls out a leather pouch from which he withdraws a small stone. He tells Kaim it is an unpolished gemstone, and you can see that in the background, something he found shortly after he left for the battlefield.
Gemstone?
Kaim asks, unconvinced. The stone on the table is a dull black without a hint of the gleam a gem should have.
It sparkled when I first found it. I was sure my daughter would love it when I brought it home to her.
Gradually, though, the stone lost its gleam and turned cloudy.
Metaphor!
Metaphor! Yeah.
Every time I killed an enemy soldier, something like the stain of his blood would rise to the surface of a stone. As you can see, it's almost solid black now. After 3 years, the stone is stained by the sins I've committed. I call it my sin stone.
You don't have to blame yourself so harshly.
Says Kaim.
You had to do it to stay alive.
I know that.
Says the soldier.
I know that, but still,
Sorry.
just like me.
Yeah, you get the point. The soldier then says to Kaim, go ahead.
You too, I suppose. You must have a family.
Kaim has a little shake.
Not me.
He says,
No family.
A home village, at least?
I don't have any place to go home to.
Eternal traveler, eh?
Uh-huh. That's me.
the soldier chuckles softly and gives Kaim a sour smile. It is hard to tell how fully he believes what Kaim has told him. He slips the sin stone into the leather pouch and says,
You know what I think? If a stone turned darker every time I took a life, it ought to get some of its gleam back every time I save a life.
Unfortunately, that's not how it works, dude. Instead of answering, Kaim drains the last drop of liquor from his cup and rises from the table. The soldier remains in his chair, and Kaim, staring down at him, offers him these words of advice.
You
Theo?
have a place you can go.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's Jova.
Sorry, my bad.
A place you can go home to, you should go to it. Just go. No matter how much guilt you may have weighing you down. I'm sure your wife and daughter will understand. No, that's Kaim.
No, trust me. I know what he's meaning.
Yeah.
I'm sure your wife and daughter will understand. You're no criminal. You're a hero. You fought your heart out to stay alive. I'm glad I met you.
Says the soldier. Sorry about that.
I needed to hear that.
And your troubles will soon be over.
Says Kaim with a smile, starting for the door. Just then, the punk charges at Kaim from behind, wielding a pistol.
Watch out!
Bellows the soldier and rushes after Kaim. As Kaim whirls around, the punk takes aim and shouts.
You can't treat me like that, you son of a bitch!
The soldier flies between the two men and takes a bullet to the gut.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Alright. Typical bar fight that goes horribly wrong. And so he desperately wished to do so. The soldier has saved someone's life. Ironically, it is for the life of Kaim, a man who can neither age nor die. That the soldier has traded his one and only life.
He just didn't know.
Yeah. Sprawled on the floor, nearly unconscious, the soldier thrusts the leather pouch into Kaim's hand.
Look at my sin stone. Will you? Maybe. Maybe.
He says, chuckling weakly.
Some of its shine has come back.
Blood spurts from his mouth, strangling the laugh. Kaim looks inside the bag and says,
It's sparkling now. It's clean.
It is?
gasped the soldier, sorry.
Good. My daughter will be so glad.
He smiles with satisfaction and holds his hand out for the pouch. Gently, Kaim lays the pouch in the palm of his hand and folds the man's fingers over it. The soldier draws his last breath, and the pouch falls to the floor. The dead man's face wears a peaceful expression. The stone, however, the man's sin stone, which has rolled from the open pouch, is as black as ever.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Jesus.
yep.
We already established that with the first tale.
Alright.
Wow!
Sorry, I was just having a moment.
Sorry, I was having a
Flashbacks happen
flashback.
often.
They do, actually.
Very frequently.
He works like, he's like Tim Burton's Willy Wonka.
I'm curious, does Kaim cry himself to sleep with these memories?
You will see how he handles his emotions.
That's the thing, Jova. As we saw earlier, he has constant nightmares, so probably not.
For the time being, okay, you have not seen much of an occasional aside from the cutscene, but so far, Kaim has showed that he doesn't like to express his emotions in public for the time being.
Well, it's not hard to realize why. He's lived 1,000 years. He's at a point probably where he has just given up on even trying to enjoy life at this point. And there you go. Just watching this family reminds him of something.
Big flashbacks has he got?
So this is pretty much...
You can probably look at someone throwing the trash away and you'll have a flashback.
I swear, this guy remembers memories as much as Layden remembers puzzles. Why, Luke, this puzzle reminds me of a great post-trauma.
Oh boy.
White flowers. Lovely white flowers mark the town. They bloom on every street corner, not in beds or fields set aside for their cultivation, but blending naturally and in profusion with every row of houses, as though the buildings and the blossoms have grown up together. The season is early spring, and snow still lingers in the nearby mountains, but the stretch of ocean that gently laps the town's southern shore is bathed in refulgent sunlight. This is an old and prosperous harbor town. Even now, each day its piers see many cruise ships and freighters come and go.
But let me guess, by the end of this, those white flowers will be covered in red.
Well, let's see.
We'll see.
Its history, however, is sharply divided between the time before and the time after, an event that happened long, long day ago. People here prefer not to talk about it, the watershed engraved upon the town's chronology. The memories are too sorrowful to make stories out of them. Kaim knows this, and because he knows it, he has come here once again.
He was there when it happened.
Basically. It's literally the being bear-shaped history kind of trope in universe.
Passing through? The tavern master asks him. At the sound of his voice, Kaim responds with a faint smile. You're here for the festival, I suppose. You should take your time and enjoy it. The man is in high spirits. He has joined his customers in glass after glass until now and is quite red in the face. But no one shows any signs of blaming him for overindulging. Every seat in the tavern is filled with, and the air reverberates with laughter. Happy voices can be heard now and then, as well as from the road outside. The entire town is celebrating. Once every year, the festival has people making merry all night long until the sun comes up.
So
Well-
it's like literally the not another Irish drinking song.
I mean, half of the fun of being a tavern master is also getting to indulge a bit once in a while. I mean, it doesn't kill anybody. Come on. I hope you've got a room for the night, sir. Too late to find one now. Every inn is full to overflowing, too.
So it seems.
Not that anyone would be foolish enough to spend a night like this quietly tucked away under the covers in his room. The tavern master winks at Kaim, as if to say, not you, sir, I'm sure. Tonight we're going to have the biggest, wildest party I've ever seen, and everybody's invited, locals or not. Drink, food, gambling, women. Just let me know what you want. I'll make sure you have it.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I guess. Want drink? We have want food? Want gambling? Want women? We've got it all!
Yeah, it's like Chichmarino in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Kaim sips his drink and says nothing, because he is planning to stay awake all night. He has not taken a room, though he has no plans to enjoy the festival either. Kaim will be offering up a prayer at the hour before dawn when the night is at its darkest and deepest. He will leave the town, sent off by the morning sun as he pokes its face up between the mountains and the sea. And he did it at the time of his last visit. Back then, the tavern master, who a few minutes ago was telling one of his regular customers his first grandchild is about to be born, was himself just an infant. This one's on me. Drink up, says the tavern master, filling Kaim's shot glass. He peers at Kaim suspiciously and says, You did come for the festival, didn't you?
Yes, I came to tell you that your festival is bullshit.
It's like the little green says yes and then awkwardly turns to the camera.
Everyone, your festival is founded. Your festival is a lie.
We have drinks and...
It's like that Simpsons episode where
no.
Jeremiah Springfield was a dick.
Not really.
says Kaim. Don't tell me you didn't know about it. You mean you came here by pure chance?
Afraid so.
Well, if you came here on business, forget it. You'll never get serious talk out of anybody on a special night like this. The Tavern Master goes on to explain what is so special about this night. You must have heard something about it. Once, a long time ago, this town was almost completely destroyed.
Oh.
Bonfire night? Albeit on a
There are
huge
two kinds of
scale.
events that divide history into before and after. One is birth or death of some great personage, a hero or a savior. The other is something like a war or plague or natural disaster. What divided this town's history into before and after was a violent earthquake. It happened without warning and gave the soundly sleeping people of the town no chance to flee. A crack opened up in the earth with a roar, and roads and buildings just fell to pieces. Fires started, and they spread in the twinkling of an eye. Almost everyone was killed. So it was a very big earthquake then. You probably can imagine it. All I know is that what they taught me in school. And what does Resurrection Festival mean to a kid? I mean, it was just something that happened once upon a time. I live here and that's all it means to me. So a traveler like you probably can't even begin to imagine what it was like.
Is that what they call this holiday? Resurrection Festival?
Uh-huh. The town was resurrected from a total ruin to this. That's what the celebration is all about. Kaim gives the man a grim smile and slips his liquor. What's so funny? The Tavern Master asks.
I mean, gotta love Kaim's spirit to just repress everything with alcohol. Last time I was here, they were calling it Earthquake Memorial Day. Wasn't a festival for this kind of while celebrating.
What are you talking about? It's been the Resurrection Festival ever since I was a kid.
That was before you were old enough to remember anything.
Huh?
And before that, they called it Consolation of the Spirits. They burn a candle for each person who died and pray for them to rest in peace. It was a sad festival. Also crying.
You sound as if you saw it happening yourself.
I did.
Kaim, the party pooper.
Give me more alcohol, bitch.
Well, to be fair, he's just explaining his history of this Memorial Day. He's not necessarily.
He's still a party pooper.
The Tavern Master laughs with a loud snort. You look sober, but you must be blasted out of your mind. Now listen, it's festival night, so I'm going to let you off the hook for pulling my leg. But don't say stuff like that in front of the other townspeople. All of our ancestors, mine included, are the ones who barely escaped with their lives. Kaim knows full well what he is doing. He never expected the man to believe him. He just wanted to find out for himself whether the townspeople were still handing down the memories of the tragedy. Whether deep down behind their laughing faces, there still lingered the sorrow that had been passed down from their forefathers' time. So basically came here to check if people are still honoring the dead from that time, basically.
You honor them by getting pissed drunk.
Called away by one of the other customers, the Tavern Master leaves Kaim's side, but not without his first delivering a warning. Be careful what you say, sir. That kind of nonsense can get you in trouble. Really, think about it. The earthquake happened all of 200 years ago. Kaim does not answer him. Instead, he sips his liquor in silence. Among the ones who died in the tragedy 200 years ago were his wife and daughter. Of all the dozens of wives and hundreds of children that Kaim has had in his eternal life, the wife and child he had here were especially unforgettable. So again, as an immortal, yeah, Kaim has had many wives and children die in his arms.
Unfortunately, just because he is immortal, that doesn't mean that his offsprings are.
Yeah, so basically every time he has a child, he has to watch that child die eventually before him. In those days, Kaim had a job at the harbor. There were just the three of them. He, his wife, and their little girl. They lived simply and happily. The same kind of days that had preceded today would continue on to endless tomorrows. Everyone in the town believed that, including Kaim's wife and daughter, of course, but Kaim knew differently. Precisely because his own life was long without end and he had consequently tasted the pain of countless partings. Kaim knew all too well that in the daily life of humans there was no forever. This life his family was leading would have to end sometime. It could not go on unchanged. This was by no means a cause for sorrow, however. Denied a grasp upon forever, human beings knew how to love and cherish the here and now. Yeah, exactly. One of the big reasons we know how to love and cherish things is because we know they're limited and we take an effort to cherish what's important to us. But for Kaim is much harder because he has no end to his life. So he doesn't have as much motivation to do so. Kaim especially loved to show his daughter flowers. The more fragile and short-lived, the better. Flowers that bloomed with the morning sun and scattered before the sun went down. They were everywhere in this harbor town. Lovely white flowers that bloomed in early spring. His daughter loved the flowers. She was a gentle child who would never break off blossoms and had struggled so bravely to bloom. Instead, she simply watched them for hours at a time. That year, too.
Riveting. So what now?
Look how big the buds are. They'll be blooming any time now, she said happily when she found the white flowers on the road near the house.
Tomorrow, maybe?
Kaim wondered aloud. Absolutely, his wife chimed in merrily. Get up early tomorrow morning and have a look. Poor little flowers, though, said the daughter. It's nice when they bloom, but then they wither right away. All the better, said Kaim's wife. It's good luck if you get to see them blooming. That makes it more fun. We like being alive. We like being alive. Oh, we like being, oh, we like being, oh, we like being alive. It may be fun for us, answered the girl. But think about the poor flowers they work so hard to open up, as they wither the same day. It's sad. Well,
Yeah, I guess so.
a momentary air of sadness flowed into the room, but Kaim quickly dispelled it with a laugh.
Keep also in mind this track that he's playing right now, Drova. It's used for the more poignant moments. So
Yeah.
happiness is not the same thing as longevity.
He proclaimed. What does that mean, Papa?
It may not bloom for long, but the flowers are happy if it can open up the prettiest blossom and give off the sweetest perfume. It knows how to make while it is blooming.
The girl seemed to be having trouble grasping this and simply nodded with a little sigh. She then broke into a smile and said, It must be true if you say so, Papa. Your smile is more beautiful than any flower in bloom. You should have said that to her. Kaim later regretted that he had not. The words he had uttered so carelessly, he came to realize, turned out to be something of a prophecy.
You're a fucking disappointment. Sorry, I mean, Nora.
Jesus,
Well now, young lady,
he said.
if you're getting up early to see the flowers tomorrow morning, you better go to bed right now.
All right, Papa, if I really have to.
I'm going to bed too now.
Actually, that's Kaim's
sorry,
wife.
my bad.
I'm going to bed now too, Kaim's wife. Okay then, good night, Papa, his wife said to Kaim. Good night, dear. I really am going to bed now. Go ahead.
Good night.
Kaim replied, enjoying one last cup to ease the day's fatigue.
Man, I again got a low time. All the repression stuff. Drink more.
These turned out to be the last words the family shared.
An angry rhinoceros appeared out of nowhere and gobbled them up.
Well, actually, a violent earthquake struck the town before dawn. Kaim's house collapsed in a heap of rubble. Kaim's two loved ones departed for that instant other world before they could awaken from their deep sleep and without ever having a chance to say good morning to... Well, at least they didn't suffer. So there's that, at least.
I forgot. What year was this released again?
2008.
Oh, 3 years before Fukushima.
The morning sun rose on a town that had been destroyed in an instant. Amid the rubble, the flowers were blooming. The white flowers that Kaim's daughter had wanted so badly to see. Kaim fought to lay a flower in offering of his daughter's cold corpse, but abandoned the idea. He could not bring himself to pick a flower. No one, no living being on the face of the earth, he realized, had the right to snatch the life of a flower that possessed that life for only one short day. Kaim could never say to his daughter, Go ahead.
You go first to heaven and wait for me. I'll be there before long.
Nor would he ever know the joy of reunion with his loved ones. To live for 1,000 years meant being the pain of 1,000 years of partings. So yeah, being immortal is not all that's cracked up to be.
Still, family reunions must be interesting, with all the tales he has to tell the family.
Kaim continued his long journey. A dizzying number of years and months flowed by. Years and months during which numberless wars and natural calamities scourged the earth. People were born, and they died. They loved each other, and they were parted from the ones they loved. There were joys beyond measure, and sorrows just as measureless. People fought and argued without end, but they also loved and forgave each other endlessly. Thus was history built up, as the tears of the past evolved gradually into prayers for the future. I like the artwork, by the way, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kaim continued his long journey. After a while, he rarely thought about the wife and daughter with whom he had spent those few short days in the arbor town, but he never forgot them. Kaim continued his long journey, and in the course of his travels, he stopped by this harbor town again.
This is where I married my 13th wife, I think.
This also reveals why he's even here. He's here to honor his wife and child right here. As the night deepened, the din of the crowds only increased, but now, as a hint of light comes into the eastern sky, without a signal from anyone, the noise gives way to silence. Kaim has been standing in the town central square. The revelers, too, have found their way here one at a time, until almost before he knows it, the stone-paved plaza is filled with people. Kaim feels a tap on the shoulder. "I didn't expect to find you here," says the tavern master. When Kaim gives him a silent smile, the tavern master looks somewhat embarrassed and says, "There's something I forgot to tell you before."
Oh.
You didn't pay your tab before you left.
That too, but I'll look that over for now. Because I have a thematically important thing to say to you.
I was gonna say I was fucking your wife behind your back, but that would have been a bit too dark.
Jesus Christ. Well, you know the earthquake happened a long time ago, before my father and mother's time, even before my grandparents' generation. It might sound funny for me to say this, but I can't imagine this town in ruins.
I know what you mean.
I do think, though, that there are probably things in this world that you can remember, even if you haven't actually experienced them. Like the earthquake. I haven't forgotten it. And I'm not the only one. It may have happened 200 years ago, but nobody in this town has ever forgotten. We can't imagine it, but we can't forget it either. Just as Kaim nods again to signal his understanding of the tavern keeper's words, a somber melody echoes throughout the square. This is the hour when the earthquake destroyed the town. All the people assembled here close their eyes, clasp their hands together, and offer up a prayer, the tavern master and Kaim among them. To Kaim's closed eyes will come the smiling faces of his dead wife and daughter. Why are they so beautiful and so sad? These faces that believe with all their hearts that tomorrow is sure to come.
I didn't.
The music ends.
Sorry. You put a line in the description in the script here.
The morning sun climbs above the horizon, and everywhere throughout the town bloom countless white flowers. In 200 years, the white flowers have changed. The scientists have emphasized that the earthquake may have changed the nature of the soil itself, but no one knows the cause for sure. The lives of the flowers have lengthened. Whether before they would bloom and wither in the space of a single day, now they hold their blooms for 3 and 4 days at a time. Moist in the dew of night, bathed in the light of the sun, the white flowers strive to live their lives to the fullest, beautifying the town as if it's striving to live out the portion of life denied by those whose tomorrows were snatched away from them forever. The end.
It's the souls of all the people that died.
That's one interpretation. Alright, now that Kaim is done with that flashback, let's continue. Again, it's like I said, it's basically he's basically suffering from Tim Burton Willy Wonka syndrome. Alright. Now,
considering at this point he has been joined by I forgot the name.
Jensen.
Jensen, I'm pretty sure Jensen is just looking at him and like, dude, can we move?
Well, technically Jensen is not joined the party yet. That's later. Technically, we're still on our own still.
Okay, then.
He gave us the message, but then he went right back to Gongora. So, all right, everybody, tune in next time where we continue searching for things to find in the town. See ya.
Yeah.